Hello, 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 hello. I am working with a different screens. I don't know what is happening here. I hope y'all can hear me. Um, I've been messing around with some stuff in here and I don't know what I've done. Good evening to you guys. Good evening, Sparkle. Good evening, Pretty Riri Speaks. Good evening, Symmetry. Thanks for joining the live tonight. We're going to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. I watched it on Saturday and yesterday and rewatched it this morning so I could take notes. I'm sorry I'm running late. I actually had a family emergency that I had to go check on, and so I had to leave home real quick, and I just got back. So, anywho, welcome back to vacation. This morning I went and got me a good old massage. Cause baby, it's self-care day. If nothing else, I'm gonna do some self-care on this here vacation. Well, let's get into it. Love and Marriage Huntsville came on Saturday night, and it was a pretty good episode. I hope y'all don't get too mad at me because I may put my foot a little hard on some necks tonight. Just because have some an opinion. I have some opinions regarding some of the things that happened. One of my opinions is about, well, we'll just get into the episode and then we'll talk about opinions as we move into it. Give me 1 second. I need to send out something. Can y'all see me? Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. So I'm not sure. My thing is really spinning. We got some spindations going on in here. And I don't know why. We'll see. Hopefully it's working. Okay, y'all can hear me. Good. All right, let's get started. I'm gonna start with the quote: "A friend to everybody is a friend to nobody." Shout out to Marcel Scott for that, because I kind of agree with that sentiments. Kind of agree with that statement. I think that we have to be careful about trying to hold the line when it comes down to certain people. I think we should just be able to, the line should not always be towed in a certain direction. That's neither here nor there, but that's just my personal opinion. And I think sometimes by playing the middleman, sometimes you murky up the water. But we're going to get on into the episode. The episode opens with Chris and Nell in the theater room of their home, and they're talking about the dinner that they had with, and they're discussing the family dinner, and I put Nell's behavior. Let's discuss Nell's behavior. You said, "I am on a committee meeting call, but I will try to keep up. I might have some thoughts as well. This episode was something." Thank you, Symmetry. It was something. It was definitely something. Nell says Chris does nothing when it comes down to the kids, meaning I guess he doesn't jump in, he doesn't express anything, he listens. And Chris said he's not a confrontational person. This is who he's always been. And he says he listens so he can try to figure out a solution to the problem. Which I think most of us, if we would practice listening more than we practice vocalize what we had to say, I think a lot of times we could eliminate a lot of the issues that we run into in life. Chris said he understands Nell's feelings, but someone has to have a level head. And we know that Nell's head isn't level. She goes off at a tangent. In fact, when she was talking to Letitia on down in into the episode, she actually curses, but they cut out the other half. It says mother, but the rest of it is cut out. So she literally cusses at Letitia did not. Letitia already had made up in her mind what she feel about Nell. So we're gonna get on to that when we get down there to it. Anywho, he said that he talks about Nell. I said, then he talks to Nell about her itty bitty temper, because baby, she got the littlest, loudest temper ever. When they're sitting in there and he kind of talk, your head is not leveled. You tend to snap off, and you don't tend to, you just don't keep things at an even keel. You just go off the handle. And I believe that's because you never see her in anything. Even last season when they went out to the when Mel took them out to where did they go? they went to an island, I believe. I think the Virgin Islands. And Nell didn't have a name tag on her bed, and she was upset about that. So she has a temper. We're just gonna say that. She has a temper. And I think further on in this episode we find out partial reasons why she may have the episode, why she may have the attitude that she has. Nell said that when she did get mad and started crying, that Chris should have jumped in at that moment and said something. And Chris apologizes. He said, maybe I should have jumped in it. I put in my notes, Nell is a ticking time bomb. I don't think that, I think that if Chris had jumped in, she just would have pounced on him. I think that's just who Nell is. I think she's just a ticking time bomb. Nell requires a lot of attention. I put that in my notes as well. She requires a lot. But Chris apologized to her. He apologized for not jumping in when she felt like he should have jumped in. And I'm here to tell you, he's not going to jump in the next time when you feel he should have jumped in. That's just how men do. And you should know that by now. You've been married to Chris for a very long time. Next scene, Kimmy, Tisha, and Destiny meet up at Black. Kimmy and Tisha talk about their sons about to graduate. And Destiny jumps in and she goes, my baby's about to go to kindergarten. And Letitia says, girl, you're starting all over. Destiny mentions the conversation that she had with Martell and Chris. And at that time, Letitia's picking up a drink. She's kind of rolling her eyes like, like what in the world? And so Destiny tells the ladies that Nell felt that she had been ganged up on. And Destiny said whether she agreed or not, she understood Nell's perspective. I don't understand Nell's perspective. Destiny, you probably should have enlightened us what the perspective is. Because if 4 people are telling you, hey, you are doing X, Y, and Z, and including yourself, I don't know where the extra perspective comes in, but we're going to move on. Destiny says that, Tisha said Nell came in with bad energy. So we get, in the show, I think we get about maybe 50 minutes worth of a show, 40 some odd minutes. And in that time, so they're compressing a lot of the stuff that they've done into an episode. And I don't think we really got to see the magnitude of what happened when those ladies were at the festivities and actually what went on. I believe Nell was yelling because we know that Nell tends to pop off and start yelling. So I don't think that's any different than what actually transpired that we did see. I think we saw Nell popping off. We just did not. We saw everybody yelling. We saw Kimmy yelling. But in actuality, if there are 4 women saying you were yelling, then more than likely you were probably yelling before any of these things actually got started. And so Kimmy said, even though Nell may have felt ganged upon, but it seems as the things she was saying about Tisha, wait a minute, as though she felt like she was being ganged upon, it was because of the things that she had been saying about Letitia Scott. She said that that's the energy you were given, and so the energy was given back to Liddell. So Destiny says 3 out of 5, because Kimmy said, no. It was 4 out of 5. There was 5 of us there. You told her yourself, hey, you are yelling, right? And so Destiny says, yeah, but that wasn't ganging up on her. I was just trying to give her some accountability. And Tisha says, people are holding her accountable. Kimmy told Destiny, you made my entire point. Can we please talk about something else? And so I put in my notes, this beef seems to be manufactured. I'm not sure if this is really a real actual beef or if this is just something that is being manufactured for a storyline. I don't know. But I really feel like these ladies don't really have a beef other than Letitia. The rest of it, I think, is just even Nell. I think Nell's is manufactured. I think Nell has said some things that have upset Tisha, and now Tisha's done with this. Even last season, Nell was picking at Letitia, and I think that Letitia's just over it, and that's perfectly fine. You only have to let people be in your circle that you really want to be in your circle. And I said, why is Destiny fitted for someone who talks so negatively about her? Nell talked about all up under Destiny's clothes, so why is Destiny defend her. That lost me, in all honesty. That particular part, I lost. I mean, totally lost on that with Destiny. But maybe Destiny, somewhere along the way, they've had some type of connection. I don't know. But it just, something just about this seems very odd and not truthful. Teacher said, I would toast to that after Kimmy said, let's move on, baby. She was like, let's toast. We want to talk about Nell. Let's enjoy this dinner. Symmetry said, I'm confused by it as well. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Because again, like I said, this beef seems manufactured. That's what I put in my notes. And then I said, why is Destiny fending for someone who talked so, I mean, when I say she was all up under Destiny's clothes, talking about her with Twan and with Lance and now I don't understand it. I do not understand it, but maybe it's something going on that we don't see. Maybe they filmed something and we were not privy to it. I don't know. But I don't think we can go on, really, in all honesty, is what they share with us on this show. And they're sharing with us, excuse me, they're sharing with us that that Nell has really talked down about all of these women. And then she gets in her face with the attitude. So I don't understand the defending of her, because I don't know, maybe Destiny's trying to be, be the nice guy and try to be the girls, who's the one who's in charge of the girls. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me. Destiny now says that she met Nell when Nell's mother was passing away, and that the ladies have not had an opportunity to meet that particular Nell, which is true. And I said in my notes, I ain't buying that. For some reason, I ain't buying it. I ain't buying that, Destiny. I'm sorry. I love you, Destiny, but I ain't buying it, girl. I ain't buying that. It sounds like it's a lie. All of that sounds like it's a lie, but we're going to go on with it. Destiny spoke about how Nell had prayed for her, but since her mother had passed away, since Nell's mother passed away, that it's been very hard for Nell, and that Nell has been lashing out. This is the first time we hear Destiny saying, she's telling us, hey, ever since her mother passed away, she's been lashing out at people. Now we're establishing a pattern. I want you to realize that we are establishing a pattern. To be fair, though, they probably didn't know, as they see the scenes the same time that we do. Exactly. I agree with that, Symmetry. I do agree with that. That's what I said, because they're filming and we're getting 40 some odd minutes compressed into an episode of different parts of scenes that have been edited and sliced and pushed in together. So we don't really know what the whole thing is, but I do know that it's weird. It's definitely something odd about this whole Nell situation. I said we have been seeing that lashing out part. We have been seeing that this entire time that she's been on as a cast member. Prior to her coming on as a cast member, we would just see her at parties, or that time that Mel and Martell went over and Mel broke the dish at her home. I mean, the glass at her home. But other than that, we have not really gotten to know Nell up until this episode. And the part that we are seeing of Nell when it comes down to her being with her family is Nell lashing out, yelling, screaming. When her family got together last season and had dinner, Nell was screaming and hollering and cussing at her family. This season, they got together to have dinner again. And what do we see again? Nell yelling, screaming, and cussing at her children. Child, I don't know what the deal is over there. Teacher said that she understands that, and it's okay for Nell to be cool with Destiny and not be cool with Tisha. Tisha was flat-footed on that. She didn't alter. She didn't move to the right, to the left. She stayed flat-footed on. She don't want to fool with Nell. She said she's good on Nell. Nell said she don't want the energy. Destiny said that she is having a girls' trip, and that I believe that meant Tisha said that she didn't want the energy from Nell. Destiny says she's having a girls' trip and all the ladies will be around. Tisha, I don't want to be around Nell. And I put in my notes, that's her right. It's her right not to want to be around someone that she has deemed as not being trustworthy, someone who is constantly trying to invade an area of her life that she does not want to allow them into. So I think it's okay that if Tisha says, I don't want to be around her, she's made it very clear to Destiny, who is hosting this trip, And Kimmy is her witness. I've made it very clear I don't want to be around Nell. That's fair. I believe that's fair. I hopefully everybody else believes that's fair, because I believe everybody has a right to who they would like to be around or in their circle. I think it's okay for Tisha to not want to be friends with Nell. I do too. I don't have a problem with that at all. And I'm not saying that it's any slight on Nell. I'm just, I believe that it's anybody says I don't want to be around so and so and so and so, and they tell you whatever the reason is, you should just be able to say, okay, that is fine. You shouldn't try to push the issue. And I think that's just in life, general life. I don't want to be around anyone that makes me feel unsafe. I totally agree with that. I believe I just, we are here. Symmetry, because I believe I just said that, maybe not in those exact words, but pretty much that way. I wouldn't want to be around anyone who I deem as someone who takes me to a place I don't want to be at, treats me a certain way, or that I don't trust. And I don't think Letitia trusts Nell at all. And I think we kind of may know the reason why. Hello, DeAndrea. Thanks for joining the live. Let's go on back. Now let's take this back. Destiny has been carrying this nail bone, and it hasn't landed like they think, right? And so I don't know why Destiny is trying so hard to push the narrative of Nell as this nice guy or this nice, because the ladies haven't seen that, right? Destiny should have kept all of that to herself. That's what I put in my notes. And Tisha took to the floor and she said, I want to be very clear. I don't like her. Now we have Tisha. She's already said, I don't want to be around her. Now she's saying again, I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't like how she moves. I don't like how she operates. She's now, again, voiced that she don't want to be around Nell. She has every right to do that. Everybody in the room has a right to say, I don't want to be around someone. And that is their right, right? Also, well, we're going to move on. I think I have that in my notes somewhere because, I'll be jibbling, jabbling. Destiny brought baskets, and she tells, let's see what DeAndrea says. Tisha's full of it. She doesn't want to talk about what's actually being talked about. Honey, it comes to Martell in the interview he did with the peasant and Marcel's special friend. But I think that has already been addressed. It was addressed off of the show. And they made a clear line in the sand and said they was not going to bring anything that they tried to bring off the camera to the show. They said that last season. And I believe that's fair. Because at the end of the day, been trying to stick Marcel with somebody for the last, what are we at, 10 seasons? So for the last 10 seasons, and nothing has taken hold. And even if it does take hold, Tisha's not going to leave her husband because of what people are saying. She's just not. So why is it that we want to keep pushing this narrative? Why isn't Nell telling us about why Chris lost his real estate license? Because she got her own story that she could be talking about. Why isn't she talking about her stepdaughter? Why isn't Nell talking about her family? Let's back up a little bit more. Nell actually, let me move this down because I got my move it there. There we go. Okay. Nell actually told them, and it's on camera, that they left LA because there was a baby on the way. Then Nell comes back and says she never said that. Girl, which lie you gonna tell? Did you say it or did you not? So I understand the reason why Tisha don't want to fool. Nell's a liar. Nell lied. It's on camera. It's on camera. That's it. And maybe Letitia may be full of it, but I don't blame Letitia. In 10 years, you have not brought me someone that I think my husband been with. I do not, for the life of me, believe that Marcel was with that girl that Martell had. For some reason, I don't know. That girl, chat, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ham. Honey, if and I say this, where's my little allegedly sign? I'm going to say this. If Marcel was with this young lady that Martell and the peasant brought to, or I don't call her a peasant, I'm sorry, I apologize. If Ariane and Martell, the lady that they brought to YouTube and did the live with, if Marcel was with her, so was Martell, and so was Maurice. Baby, they ran a train on her, allegedly. And I'm gonna put everything I got on that. Put all my ducks, all my little dollars on that. That I believe if Marcel did it, they all joined in and did it together. I don't believe that was a one person thing. That was something else that went on over there. Anywho, um, Destiny brought baskets and she tells the ladies that she went on a date with Will, and she began to tell them that Will was taking things out of the baskets that meant things to, this meant this means that. So she thought that was a great idea. And Kimmy asked, she was like, Will, wait a minute. She said, what had happened to Googly Eyes? Now, who is Googly Eyes Twan? I think maybe Googly Eyes will be Twan. Yeah, maybe that's who it is. And Destiny's asking ladies to bring a small item from their home to share with the ladies, like a show and tell. Letitia says she doesn't mind getting to know the ladies, but she is done with Nell. Now, this is the third time Letitia has said that she don't want nothing to do with Nell. She gets her stuff. Letitia says bye. She tells, so does Kimmy. And they tell Destiny to handle up on the tab. I thought that was cute as they left. So let's move on over. Destiny goes and meets up with Nell at a flower shop called Albert's Flowers, a Black-owned flower shop. I am loving the very fact that wherever they go in the show, that they always tell us a name. And the very fact that they shouted out Albert and his Black-owned flower shop. Shout out to you, Albert's, and your Albert's Flowers. They dive into the conversation about festivities. Nell says she felt ganged upon by 1.0 and 2.0. She actually said she eliminated Destiny from the ganging upon. She just felt like it was just Letitia and Kimmy. And I said in my notes, Nell wants an issue. That's just it. Nell wants an issue with Letitia, and Kimmy's just gonna be, she's gonna be a part of the drag along to get in it. Nell says she has a problem with communicating. She says it from her mouth verbatim. I have a problem with communicating effectively. And I said, that is a Nell issue. That's not a 1.0 or a 2.0 issue. That is a Nell Fletcher issue. When you go learn the tools to learn how to communicate, because nothing beats an understanding but an understanding. And I believe that when those children told her that she needed to go to therapy and she said no, they did, Nell is missing out on what she probably needs the most, and that is probably some tools to be able to conduct her life in an effective manner, and some communication tools, because it'll all work together if she did those things. Nell says she's overwhelmed with her own family and the daycare family, and she's just overwhelmed when she gets with this group. She tries to cover, keep it all in this group of ladies, and watching Nell in other areas of her life. It seems like this is an ongoing issue. So if you have your family that you're lashing out on, you want me to believe that you're just lashing out on your family and the ladies. I can imagine what those daycare children, their parents go through. I can only imagine what the moms at the daycare go through dealing with her. Hopefully they have some liaisons that they can go through without directly having to deal with Nell. But I don't believe that Nell's just giving it to her family and giving it to the Scotts. I believe, or Letitia, I believe she's giving it to every area of her life. Because we saw her interaction with Chris. She wants Chris to defend her when she literally lashed out at those kids. When I'm thinking to myself, why did you lash out at those kids? That conversation at that table could have been very calm, because you are the mother, right? And I believe children take the lead from their parents. Even in my own household, we sit around and talk. When tempers start getting high, be like, hey, bring it back in. Let's try to stay calm. If we're going to rectify a situation, we literally have to stay calm to talk about it, because we need to understand about what's going on. So I just think that goes with everything. I'm sorry. Symmetry says Tisha doesn't need to talk about rumors. I agree with that, but I also agree that Tisha's probably over it. I think that Tisha's probably tired of talking about the rumors, because at this point she's not going to leave her husband. So that's just it. There's no need in discussing something that you've been trying to get out since season 1. It ain't coming to fruition yet. So I do understand that. Destiny says that there's a lot of miscommunication in this group. Hey, Sergeant Charge, thanks for joining the live. Thank you. Where was I at? Destiny says she shrugged her shoulder. It's okay. I'm gonna tell you something. I welcome a difference of opinion. And I think we all can always agree to disagree. I just feel like that in everybody's relationship, no one should have to take the time to fight for their relationship with someone who's not involved in the relationship. I'm not going to fight for my marriage with the neighbor next door. I don't give a crap about the neighbor. I give a crap about the person I'm married to. So that's the reason why I said that I just have a difference of opinion. I'm not in for the gossip and when it comes down to people's marriages and relationship. If without proof, we'll say that without proof, y'all been trying to get proof for 10 seasons. This show has been on the air since what, 2015, 14, somewhere, whatever came on the air. So we've been trying to get proof all this time. We still haven't gotten any proof. So I just think it's time that we have to let it go, like Frozen. Let it go. I think you just got to let it go. You can't come in here with proof. You come in here with information. Martell coming through with that woman was so unbelievable. I'm sorry. It was just unbelievable. And if, like I said before, if Marcel hit it, Maurice and Martell was right there. They was doing it too. They was all doing it together. If one did it, they all did it. That's just how I feel about it. Destiny said there's a lot of miscommunication in the group, and when they get to a discussion about the miscommunication, it just goes nowhere. They don't finish it. They don't iron it out. They don't try to rectify it. It just goes nowhere. And I agree with that. I agree. There's a lot of miscommunication, but I really believe with Nell and Letitia, I don't believe this is a miscommunication. I think Nell talks to Letitia the way she talks to her children, and it just she just did something wrong, right? I was your mentor, and I was this, and I was that. It started when they went to the Virgin Islands, and then she tell Letitia, I was your mentor, and she's been picking at Letitia. Now you're at a point, Letitia, like, I'm done with you. You tell me keep your effing name out my mouth, and I'm just going to do this. I don't want nothing to do with you. And that's perfectly fine, because some people they're not for your palate, and that's okay. Destiny said she could see where Nell would feel ganged upon. And Nell said, well, who did you go out with this time? When she was telling her about whatever she was talking about going out. Destiny, I'm over here reading my notes, but I got this for some reason parentheses as though this was something I wanted to add in. Destiny tells Nell she went out on a date with Will, and she tells her about the basket, and she gives Nell the basket, and she told her put things in it, like for show and tell, just like she told the other ladies. And Destiny told her, she said, you're the only one that I gave a gift to with their basket. Inside of it was a mini Bible. And she tells us about all the things that Nell has been to her, the mentor, and praying over her when she went through a divorce. Well, she said her miscarriages, bridal showers, baby showers, or whatever. She gave several different examples of what Nell had been to her, Destiny, and Nell's relationship. And I put in quotations, yet none of us have seen this Nell. None of us. The Nell we've seen has been the Nell that's been yelling and screaming. Nell says that the old Nell still lives in there. They give a hug, and I put in parentheses, Nell needs therapy. Period. Nell needs therapy. She needs someone to help her identify the tools so that she can walk this life without yelling and screaming and creating enemies that she really says that she don't want to create. That's how I feel about it. Y'all can tell me how y'all feel right there in the chat, because I'm here willing to listen to that. So it's the day that they're going to go to, I believe they're going to a winery. Destiny arrives at Credit One to pick up Letitia and Kimmy. And there's another SUV along with them, and that other SUV has Nell and Latricia in it. Destiny says they're riding separate cars because of the tension between Nell and Letitia. Tisha isn't making any bones about not wanting to be around Nell, and I've said that over and over. Letitia has made it very clear. She has drawn a line in the sand. I don't want to be around Nell. I don't like Nell. I don't want to be. She has said it over and over and over. How many times does a person have to tell you they don't want to be around somebody for you to get it? I just feel like someone ignored that. Hello, Shayna. Welcome to the live. And I really feel like, again, that we're ignoring Letitia's feelings. Letitia does not want to be around Nell. Anyway, Nell tells Latricia that she's trying to stay peaceful, and Latricia said, "Y'all weren't trying to be peaceful. Not the other night when we was at the festivities. That wasn't that, none of that about no peace." And so they move back over to the car that Destiny, Kimmy, and Tisha are in, and Kimmy and Tisha said, "We need an itinerary." Tisha asked Destiny, did Nell not think she owed her an apology? She just said, "This, you talked to her. Does she not think she owes me an apology?" Destiny said, Who y'all talking about?" And Kimmy responded, Lernell, because that is her name, Lernell, Lernail. That's how you spell her name. And Tisha responded, "I'm keeping her name out of my mouth." I thought that was funny. Desi said, "No, I didn't ask her if she felt that she needed an apology." Tisha said, so she says, "Tisha, you got to stop." And she said, "I didn't do anything. Why are y'all pointing fingers at me? I didn't do anything." Okay, Letitia, I'm going to have to get on to you. Come on to the front, baby. Come on. Let me whisper in your ear. I'm going to tell you this as sweet as I can. Letitia, now I love you, but your behavior at this point is edging on juvenile. It's really bad, Letitia. Oh my God, it's really bad, Letitia. That it was almost getting annoying, girl. You were just picking. But I understand. You had told these people you did not want to be around her. So I'm not sure if the answer to that would have been not inviting Nell on the trip. Or them not having Nell around. I'm not sure what the answer to that would have been. But baby, Letitia don't want nothing to do with Nell. She don't want nothing to do with Nell, and she's gonna make sure y'all understand she don't want anything to do with Nell. What was that? Okay, Letitia told Destiny, "Don't be in the middle of it. Just she's sitting. Letitia's sitting in the middle, and she's just every time Destiny say something, baby, she's popping it right back off. She's popping it right back off." And she said, "Well, don't be in the middle of it." And Destiny said, "I'm not in the middle." She said, "You're in the middle of it." And right then it dawned on me, Destiny really has been trying to play the middleman, but she's also been jumping from side to side, which makes it hard to be the middleman because you can't be neutral when you're actually jumping from side to side, taking a bone, carrying a bone, bringing a bone back. You can't do it. You just can't do it. You said, "That's Letitia's marriage, her decision. Nell and Tisha making TV, getting the bag. Nell needs less drama right now in her life, but she signed up for the BS." I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that, Sergeant Charge. Totally agree with that. Destiny, Tisha said the Destiny love it. And the truth is, Destiny did exactly that. Like I just said, Destiny said that Nell said she would be willing to move forward. And so was Tisha. And now Tisha is talking about an apology. That's what Destiny was saying. Tisha says, "I am done with it." And I said, "But she is done." Letitia is done. When I say done, baby, Letitia is done with all of this. Desi said, I'm not going to let Letitia spoil this trip. And I put in quotations, "Are you sure of that?" Because baby, Letitia is on your head and she's not letting up. Letitia is on you like white on rice, baby. Hey, Gail Francis. How you doing? You said Nell needs to come off the show, and she keeps saying she has a lot on her plate. She does keep saying that, and I don't understand why. If there's so much on her plate, then she probably should give up the show. There's no way I would aggravate myself by doing that at all. Hey, living for me. Go chat then, living for me. I want to hear what you got to say. I want to hear what you got to say. So they pull over and Destiny gets out of the car, right? She switches cars with Latricia. Latricia comes and gets in the car with Tisha and Kimmy. And Destiny says, "I am sick of her ass." Baby, I knew because baby, Letitia was getting at the tail, baby. Every time Destiny said something, she was on it. What you say? What'd you say? I thought To me, it's a little childish, but I understand. How many times can I tell you I don't want to be around somebody? How many times can I tell you I don't want to be around her? I don't like her. She gets on my nerves. I don't want to be around her. And you not take it seriously. And then you not express, you're over here saying, oh, I understand she felt ganged up on, but you don't take my side as well. If you're going to play the middleman, you have to sometimes play devil's advocate and bounce off some things. Well, Nell, what did you think you could have done differently? Nell, what did you say? Nell, how did you react? Nell, did you think it was good to say X, Y, and Z? That's just my take on it. So Kimmy said they were holding Destiny accountable for being in the middle. And they literally were. They were doing a little juvenile-ish, but that's what they was doing. I think Destiny's intentions are pure, but she's getting mixed up in the middle of this drama. That's what I put in my notes. And I really wish Destiny would not. Destiny has enough going on that she doesn't need to be mixed up in the drama, because it makes her almost look like well, I'm say it does. She is a bone carrier. She carried the bone of what Nell said about Letitia keeping her name out of her mouth, and she needs to be worried about the mess that Martell came on TV and said, I mean, on YouTube and said, so on and so forth, instead of just saying, hey, you know what, at the end of the day, that is an issue you have with Letitia. You need to solve it. I wouldn't have gotten in the middle of that. If anything, and when they got together, I would have said, hey, y'all need to talk about it. There's no way I would have taken what Nell said and told it to Letitia. But hey, as Gail Francis said, they get into the bag, baby. I mean, Sergeant Charles said at the top, they get into the bag. They make us a TV show. And that's what this is all about. That's what it's all about. Hokey pokey. So, baby, that's what they doing. They get into the bag. Destiny tells Nell about the date with Twan as they're pulling up. And Destiny says they shut down the restaurant and that they just didn't want to leave. They were talking. She said there's definitely an attraction there. You could tell that Destiny is attracted to Twan. Twan's a good-looking guy, baby. He's tall and handsome. So, girl, go for Twan if you want to, Destiny. But live your best life, Destiny. You do what you want to do, and you live it on your terms. Don't let anyone else tell you what to do. That definitely was rude how Nell said it, though. I don't think Tisha was that invested in what Nell had. I don't either. I'm there with you. The way she's and that was something I think I put in my notes later on. I hope I put in my notes. That when Letitia said it, she was like, well, she left to go. They left because the baby was being born. And Nell was like, oh, she don't need to be worried about. But Nell, that's what you said. No one was slighting you, but now you've turned it into a big hula. And you, baby, when I say the kitchen is hot, because Letitia she cut up the propane, and she done struck that match, and that fire is ablazing. And I don't see her turning down no time soon. That's just my personal opinion. I think Letitia got her big guns out for Nell. You said, hey, Lynn, for me, Anita's storyline is hard to watch. Who's Anita? Destiny is a friend to no one, including herself. I don't agree with that. Exactly, Mel said it. No one would know if you hadn't said it. I agree with that 100%. As far as Destiny being a friend to no one, I don't believe that's true. Destiny is this is a show. It's a TV show. These people run in the same circles, y'all. We cannot get into, oh, she's a friend. I don't believe that. I believe that Destiny really wants the friends to have some type of middle ground so they can create a TV show that isn't as problematic. We don't want the same stuff that we saw before the other lady left, right? We want to have a good, productive TV show. So I don't really believe that she's a friend to no one. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that. Oh, it's Beyond the Gates. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I was like, who's Anita? Symmetry says she doesn't agree with that either. Healthy dialogue. I love a healthy dialogue. LadyRo, my bad. Beyond the Gates. It's okay, Gail Francis. I just kept thinking, who is Anita? Is this a new character that I missed? Yeah, next time she needs bail money. If I was Letitia, I wouldn't answer my phone. Oh, that was pretty mean. That's mean, Susie. Oh, Susie, don't be mean. Susie, don't be mean. That's mean. Because I really believe her and Destiny are friends. I truly believe that. Whatever that looks like, I believe they are friends. I believe they're good friends. I believe that Nell, being in the middle of the Nell situation, may have been a point of contention with them. It's just, and I'm going to tell you something. I have friends, personally, that I've had to tell my friend, just because you don't like Joe Blow Blue over there, I'm not gonna fall out with Joe Blow Blue. I've had to really say this to my best friend, like, I'm not falling out with her because you mad at her. Well, you need you. I love you. I'm your girl, but I'm not falling out with her because you don't like her. That's not how we gonna do this. And sometimes you have to take the hit for that. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. That's mean, Susie. Susie, that's me. Destiny has a good heart. I think she does too. Gail, I'm playing catch up. She's talking about Beyond the Gates. Okay. Y'all talking about something totally different. Girl, I'm so far behind. If I start on Beyond the Gates now, I'll never catch up. That's why I haven't done it. Honest to God. Nell will not let stuff go. Nell won't let stuff go. And I'm going to tell you this, Tisha ain't either. It ain't just Nell by herself. Tisha ain't letting nothing go. I used to care for Destiny and her storyline and what she's been through. But when you have two people you care about, TV and no TV, and don't spend it like that. But when you have two people you care about, TV and no TV, you don't spend it like that. I think that, I don't know. I really think that they're all good friends, but I really think that sometimes things can get a little murky when you play with my friends. I got this friend, but I want to be friends with her too. I don't understand why Destiny wants to be friends with Nell. I'm being honest. I'm just throwing it out there because we all heard Nell talk kind of ill about Destiny. So I don't know. You said BS with Tisha. Destiny told her nothing to say to Sunny. What did Tisha do on girls' night, on girls' trip? Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that, Passion. Where we at? Oh, so they arrive at the winery and they start tasting wine. They show them tasting all these different wine. And they sit at a table to eat lunch. So you see them walking to the table, and this is where it all is about to pop off at the table. And Destiny asked the ladies, how was the ride? Destiny, they asked Destiny, well, how was your ride? She said it was actually peaceful. Tisha said, was that after you switched cars? And Destiny said, yes, after. Kim responds with, well, that was shady. And it was shady. I put in quotations, perhaps Destiny should sponsor more events. Things always pop. I said perhaps Destiny should not. I missed the word not sponsor any more events because things always pop off at her events. Girl, maybe you shouldn't be the host of events. Maybe we should get another host because baby, because Letitia has got her foot on the pedal and she's pushing the gas this whole time y'all sitting here. You said Tisha lied first management with Nell about being in the Expo, then asked her, so Chris cheated, but now her marriage is off limits. Passion, I think that's a twofold question. I don't think Tisha lied when she talked about Nell being the Expo. I think she just didn't want Nell to be in the Expo, didn't want to hurt her feelings. The Expo, EXPO, we're not going to be the Ebonics over here. Then she asked her, have there ever been any infidelity in their marriage, which she's asked Mel and probably anybody else she's had an opportunity to ask. And yes, her marriage can still be off limits. I think you sit down and talk to people, that doesn't mean that, especially when it comes down to some BS. Let me throw that out there. Yes, my marriage is always off limits when it comes down to BS. Now, if you got some credible situations, some evidence, then maybe I can sit down and talk to you. But 10 years of this bull crap and you ain't coming up with nothing no more than Martell and his girlfriend who mad at me because I said that Martell used to do that Martell allegedly used to play with the boys at the college. Girl, move around. Because that's really like a get back. We already know that Martell don't play fair. Martell, everybody else is all of a sudden Martell be lying long as he talk about Mel, but when he talk about Tisha, tell the truth. I don't know. It's either here or there. It's neither here nor there. Married 28 years, I would not walk away from my marriage and on her side. Me either. Neither. They're my 29. You think I'm gonna leave this one here because what she said around girl? Girl, I'll go sleep in another bedroom before I leave. I sleep in the room over yonder before I pack my bags up and leave of my relationship because I'm based on what somebody else said. But see, Nell is also avoiding talking about what real situations they have going on in their life. And that's the thing. If everybody's avoiding talking about what's going on in their relationships on reality TV, this is what comes from that. Okay. Letitia and Marcel do not want to talk about Martell and this get back he was trying to do with Arion. And then Nell doesn't want to talk about the fact that her husband was under investigation for fraud with his real estate license. Okay. So we don't want to, this is what happens. You really lose the show with talking about reality when no one wants to really address those things. We sick and I'll be honest, let's clear the air. We sick of talking about the rumors. I'm sick of hearing them. I'm sick of hearing that Marcel was a cheater. Marcel did this. Marcel had 21. I'm sick of hearing it when nothing is going to change. You cannot really come up with 20 women. You brought this girl to YouTube whose hair looked like it had been chopped off at the bit, and you expect us to believe that this was someone that Marcel was with. If Marcel was with her, Martell, you were with her, and so was Maurice. I'm gonna hold on to that, and I ain't gonna move past it. Allegedly, Marcel, Martell, and Maurice, y'all was all in there doing it together. Y'all was all in the same room. We're not going to act like Marcel was probably doing this by himself if you was there. All right? Because she looked like allegedly a jump off. All right? All right. What you say on there? It's sad to see reality TV show so fixated on women leaving a woman leaving her spouse and breaking up her family. I totally agree. It's super sad. It is super sad that we want to see people break up, period. Like, people get enjoyment out of watching these people fail. They get enjoyment out of calling and saying something. Oh, let's call over here and try to get rid of this contract for her, or people get enjoyment out of it. And to me, that is weird. Give me 1 second. My light just went off, and I'm going to reconnect it if I can. Plug it in and cut it on. Let's see. There we go. And we have lights. Let there be light. Amen. Amen. Yes, I totally agree with that. I notice a pattern when they want to get under the Scots 1.0. They bring up their marriage. Exactly. That is always their go-to. That is always their go-to, Gail Francis. Always. Where are the airline ticket receipts? Come on, Symmetry. We need more. Where are the hotel room receipts? Airbnb, wherever y'all stayed at. We need to see more than a chick who you brought to the YouTube. In fact, I'm gonna pull up that YouTube that you brought to the YouTube to share with us. Wanting us to believe that this is who Marcel had been with. I'm never going to believe that. I'm never going to believe that. And I hope they didn't delete it. Here we go. I found it. But you want us to believe that this lady is someone that Marcel was with, and you were there because you said you witnessed everything, but you were not involved. Child, you was there. You was there allegedly. You was there. You probably took pictures, but you ain't gonna release none of that. Because I guarantee you, if it was some hanky-panky going on and you was involved, you was there, we know that you have an issue with keeping your zipper zipped. So if he did it, you did it, and so did his brother. Y'all was in it together, all three of you, allegedly. You said, thank you, LadyRo. Yeah, Gail Francis, I understood what you're talking about. Yeah, it's ridiculous. No one really cares if she leaves Marcel or not. That's her life. If she likes it, I love it. No one cares at this point. Leonitra, somebody cares. Someone cares, and you say no one cares. It keeps coming up. Someone cares. Someone really truly cares. Someone really cares, because if no one cared, this will be a moot point. But because someone cares, it won't never be a moot point. It won't. As long as someone is bringing it up every day. Oh, let's talk about this. Let's talk about all the gossip. Child, if I tried to cover all the gossip that was said, I would never get through talking. Actually, believe it. And Maurice and Marcel are scared to confirm that Martell had a different chick too. Yeah, I don't believe it, but possibly. Possibly. It could have been a whole house full of chicks. We did see them in the Atlanta at the wine tasting with all the guys. Martell had a woman running through the house then. So you want me to believe that this was just a Marcel thing? I'm not gonna buy that one. I ain't gonna buy it. Hey, butterfly. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy that one. I'm not gonna buy that one. Not buy it alone. Yeah, because we did see them. Was that a? It was a trip they went on. Mel stayed. She stayed off. She didn't stay at the wherever house they was at, wherever Airbnb, and Martell had him a girl trampling through there. Well, maybe Martell cares because he wants them to lose their family like he did. Well, I'm gonna tell you what Martell does. Let's just we're gonna keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's throw everything on the table. Okay. The answer. Martell knows that if he brought it to social media, that the people would care. That's why he brought it to social. That's why he brought it here. He knew that if I bring this to these people, they are going to be like vultures. They're going to start chewing at it, eating at it. All I got to do is just plant the seed. And that's what he did. That's exactly what he did. So I can't even say that Martell cares. Martell knows how to manipulate the system. He's been doing it this whole time. He manipulated his own ex-wife. He's a good manipulator. And that's just a guy that's true. But I dropped the link somewhere around the way. You said that was solidify. They did whatever. Maurice never denied it directly. He didn't. You're right about that. You're definitely right. He did not deny it. But it's unfortunate. I think it's super unfortunate. Let's go on to this. So they arrive at the winery. Destiny asks the ladies about the ride. Now the shadiness with Destiny and Tisha is evident because Letitia, baby, when I say she started shading, she just started shading her. And I was like, oh my God, Letitia, come on, pull back. All the time I was watching, I was like, come on, Letitia, come on. But Letitia was dead serious. I told you I don't want to be around her. I told you I don't like her. I told you I don't want to be in her company. And yet and still you want to make us be in her company? Let's play this game. And Letitia took her to task. Tisha asked a question. She said, she asked Destiny a question. Destiny, you got smart with me. Tisha said that changed the energy. When you got smart, baby, the energy changed. And we know that Tisha, I don't know what Tisha's sign is, but baby, when I say she went over the top, I was like, oh, Letitia, come back, baby, come over here. But Letitia, she took it to task. Hey, Millie Love James, thanks for joining the live. We're talking about love and marriage, Huntsville. And so now wait a minute. She said, you got smart. So that changed the energy. Letitia said that Destiny asked her to excuse. She is asking her to excuse Nell's disrespect, and that hurts her. She said it hurts because she says, I consider Destiny my friend. And for her to ask me to excuse this disrespect, that's hurtful to me. Tisha said, you didn't share what you talked about in your car. So why do you want us to share what we talked about in our car? And I was like, oh God, here comes the petty energy. Tisha's energy is way up. We're going to admit that Letitia's energy was way up. She was giving it to him. She was giving it to him raw and uncut. She was just doom. Every time they said something. In fact, Tisha was still talking when nobody else was talking. Tisha was still rambling, mumbling. She was letting it be known that she had something to say, and she did not care for the way she had been treated. Destiny apologized. No, I said Tisha's energy is way off, and she probably shouldn't have came. I did put that in my notes. She probably shouldn't have came on this trip because, baby, her petty energy, baby, she was on petty 5,000. She was ready for anything and everything. Destiny, as she realized that Tisha wasn't fit to come back down and she needed to bring the energy down. Destiny apologized to Tisha and Letitia accepted it. And I was like, okay, All right, let's get this energy under control. But baby Letitia was still ready to pop off. Even after the apology and trying to move forward, Tisha was still ready to go. We're gonna keep this energy. And she did. The ladies started talking about what they brought in their baskets. Destiny started, and she brought a picture of Law and herself, and she talked about her miscarriages that she had in some of the trials and tribulations that she had gone through for Lau. And then she holds up a baby hospital gown and talked about how Lau had been in the law. I'm sorry, why did I say Lau? Law, Lord forgive me, had been in the hospital, and that hospital gown was a reminder that he was a fighter, just like his mom. That kind of brought me to tears. Very, very, very heartful moments. Latricia brought a weight, and she brought it as a symbol of her carrying her family's weights. I thought that was very thoughtful. I wouldn't have thought probably of that, but I thought it was very thoughtful of her to even mention, to bring that and use it as a symbol of in that way. And she brought a picture of her family. She talked about her family and how her love for her family. Kimmy brought a picture of Jalen. She said Jalen was her everything. And she also brought a candle. I had forgot that Kimmy had a candle line, but she brought out her candle and she talked about how that Destiny had really helped influence that candle. I think she said the naming of the candle, which I thought was cute. You said the show needs to be canceled. Tisha's terrible. All are terrible except Nell. Child, they all terrible. They all terrible. We ain't gonna say that. Hey, Queen Script. We're not gonna say that they are. Sandra Smith. They all are terrible. None of these people are perfect. They all have done things to one another. Letitia hadn't done any more to anybody than anybody else has done. Okay? Letitia was giving out the energy that they've been giving. They have been giving Tisha the business for years. And Tisha just tired. And she told, how many times I got to tell you, I don't want to be around somebody for you not to realize I don't want to be around somebody. So now I have to do more than just tell you. I'm going to have to show you. I'm going to have to show you I don't want to be around her. I don't want to be able to. So let's take it to task and let's get petty bitty. Let's do all those things. You said Passion said Tisha's going to attitude herself off the show. What else other than that is she sharing or doing? Let's see. What did they share this season? She shared some other things, but we got to have a little mess too, right? She shared, I think because this is a 2.5. We had a break, so I can't remember all what happened in the first half. Have they shown us the house this season? I'm not sure if they've shown us the house this season. Yes, they did. They took all the children. They showed us the house, I believe, this season. She's shown us where she's going to be working out of. And I like that next episode, she's going to be taking Marsau. She's going to be giving him some of that petty bitty because she want Marsau to get on over there and finish her office. She got things she won't done and he hasn't finished them. So she going to take it to him. Baby, let me tell you something. When you have a simultaneous cast in reality TV, they are each other's storyline. That's just a fact of it. They are each other's storyline. You're not going to get away from that. They are. Each one of them get to use each other as a storyline. That's why they sit down and have dinner together. That's why they go to parties together in hopes that something can jump off and we can have the drama amongst the friend group. That's just that's what reality TV is. We don't have to like it, but that's just a fact of the beast. That's the nature of the beast. Sorry. See, Symmetry forgot about the candle as well. Nell is too much. Nell, geez, over the top. Nell actually got this started. Destiny kind of fueled the fire, and Letitia finished it. That's just it. Sorry, the show does not need to be canceled. No, I love the show. It's actually one of my favorites. Nell should have just declined on going to the event. She soured the whole little event. Shaking my head. I agree. I believe that either Nell should have said, I'm not going to go, or Letitia should have said, I'm not going to go. One of them should have opted out to go until they could sit down and have a conversation and come to a happy medium, which they may never do. You said it is a reality show. Their life, my entertainment. Exactly. That's true. Sandra Smith, I agree, but Miss Nell is getting what she asked for, but didn't ask for. True. That's true. I mean, Nell clearly said, tell Letitia to keep my name out of her mouth. She'd be worried about her husband. And Destiny took it back to Letitia verbatim. So now all Letitia knows is the attitude in the way the Destiny relayed that information. And then when they brought it to her at the festivities, everything started yelling and screaming. So there was really no resolve there. I just really feel like that again, this is reality TV. One, reality TV is a collaboration of or a cast of people who use each other for storylines. So when we talk about storylines, they have each other for storylines. That's just the truth of the story. They have each other. They don't have to go out here and manufacture something because they have each other to. That's why they have get-togethers and parties so they can jump off some stuff, and then you have that as a storyline. That's just what it is. Heck, none of us are perfect in our day. Girl, I know I ain't perfect at all. Not cancel, but recast. Mm, reality TV doesn't quite work that way either. But I understand what you mean, Millie Love James. I do understand. They could probably use some new characters. But I really believe if Latricia ever gets loose in the way that we think she can be, I think she'll be a force to reckon with. I think Nell may have been someone that probably shouldn't have came on the show. I think Nell is dealing with a lot in her own personal life. And to be honest, I really believe that Nell is trying to skate around actually saying that what's really going on with Chris and his real estate license. I'm gonna tell you something. Chris was selling $1 million properties. Chris is the seller. He is a broker and a real estate agent. Was. And that's a big chunk of change taken out of your house when someone loses their real estate license, when they lose their brokerage. That is a lot to deal with. So I can imagine if the only income they have is this show and then that daycare, that this is really that is something, that's really hard. And that could be a lot. That could be overwhelming. So I'm really not blaming her for being upset because she has a lot on her plate. And that's giving her grace. She has a lot on her plate, but she pops off too. And I think her anger, her anxiety, and her fears of what's going on in her life comes off as anger. And she said that earlier on up in the show that, and even Destiny said it, ever since her mom passed away, she's been angry. She's been more angry. Nell said it herself that since her mother passed away, she's been more angry. She's been overwhelmed with things, which can cause you to have anger. Really, to God honest truth, Nell probably needs, just like I said earlier, the tools to be able to address those things so that she can be a better Nell. For Nell, not even for anybody else, just for herself. Because when you're carrying the weight of adult children, a husband who may not have a job, other than the show, and then you have this, that, and things just keep piling on you. That is a lot to deal with. You need those tools to be able to effectively be able to rightly divide life. Period. And I really hope that she goes and gets those tools. I know she was not an advocate for therapy, but I really believe she could benefit from therapy because they would give her those tools that she needed. Scott Manor, she shared her son was going off to college. Exactly. I forgot what all happened at the first of the season. You said the hate is real. What hate, Susie? Who's hating? The show does not need cancellation. The fans can stay out of her marriage bed. Let's show their businesses. I agree with that. We should show their businesses. Yep, they need each other. That's actually what reality TV is. If you remember back to the real world, they took a group of people, right, and put them all in the house together. They were each other's storyline. There wasn't any outside storylines other than what was on the outside. My boyfriend back home, my mama back home, whatever problems they had back home. But in all reality, they were each other's storyline. That is what reality TV is based upon. You have your individual storylines, but this is a simultaneous group, and their storylines are each other. And that's just the fact. That's the nature of the beast. Nell is too old for this group. I agree with that. I do kind of agree with that. I believe, I don't even want to say she's too old for the group. I just really feel like Nell may just have way too much going on. You said great show. I enjoy your commentary. Okay, Susie, thanks. I appreciate you coming over here. I got a little bit more to share. This show has ran its course. This is and always will. This is always Dr. Melanie Sherrier, Terry Gay, baby, this is not her show. She was instrumental in pitching the show, but the show that she pitched was not actually picked up. She was the one who got this cast together. We will say that. But if you ever listen to Carlos King, he says this is his show. So we're gonna go with that. The show is still going on, and Dr. Melanie Cherie is not on the show. And that's no slight to Mel. I just feel like we just need to keep life within a certain perspective. I don't believe in living life on the weird spectrum. I try to stay within the norms of life, which is reality. If Destiny shouldn't if Destiny should have told them, then Tisha shouldn't have told Destiny. If Destiny shouldn't have told them, then Tisha. What did Tisha tell Destiny? Because Destiny went back and told her what Nell said in private in their conversation together. Gail Francis says, I agree. Chris's situation got her stressed out. I totally agree with that. Girl, you got some millimeters in there talking about the one that left the shell. Valerie Banks, baby. They don't bother me not one bit. Welcome, millimeter. The millimeters have entered the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm a millimeter for life. And what? Girl, good luck. I don't know where that's gonna take you in life, but good luck.
Girl, can Butterfly into the chat now or what? Because, girl, I know you are lying. The truth ain't in you. My thing is, as much as they claim this is her show and she was the star and X, Y, and Z, why has she yet to come up with her own show? Wait a minute. Wasn't they bragging about her having her own network? Why didn't she produce a new show on her own network? Like, what is going on? These people are so delusional. And at the end of the day, y'all begged her to leave the show. She left, and now y'all won't let us forget that she was on there. Like, make it make sense. Anywho, okay. I love you, LadyRo, but I have to go. I have to dial back. I'm a little late. I apologize. You know, I got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying?
You're fine. But, yeah, but Terry Gay, it's okay. You can be a millimeter. I'm not here to sway anyone to go any direction. You live your life on your terms. What I'm here to say is Mel is not on the show any longer. Carlos King says he is the creator of this show. We're going to go with that because we don't have anything else to prove that anything is different, right? So you could be a millimeter. I'm going to be a me meter and love me because I'm only team me and my friend. That's it, honey.
Okay. Can I break it down to this beautiful millimeter? Let me break it down to you. Here's the difference, and here's how you know if she was the creator of the show. I'm going to give you a similar situation. Mariah Huck of Married to Medicine was actually the creator of Married to Medicine. Guess what? They pushed Mariah out like y'all claim that Melanie was pushed out, but at the same time, she claimed she was leaving. So, you know, y'all be trying to have it both ways. But anyway, I digress. Here's the difference. Melanie's names ain't on the credits, ain't been on the credits. And Mariah Huff still gets paid for that Married to Medicine that y'all still watch to this very day. So that's the difference. And that's how you can tell when somebody is creator and somebody is not. So I hope that helped you, beautiful millimeter.
Right. As Symmetry said, it's called an ensemble cast. Reality TV is based off each other. They are each other's storyline. We're not gonna move past that. I want you to listen to what Millie Love James says. Millimeters, please behave. This is a classy based channel, right? We don't fuss back and forth because, baby, we don't care. We don't care. I like Letitia, but baby, I'm not gonna fight for nobody but me and my children and my husband. That's it. You see, I totally agree. That is what Nell good for the show. Sergeant Charles said, I agree with you, LadyRo. Hey, Symmetry. Valerie Banks said, the producer has to step up and show Black one business. What do you mean, Valerie? Can you elaborate on that? She is not a doctor. Child. Doctor who? Passion. Oh, Black on business. Okay, Valerie, I got you now. Black on business. And you know what? The very fact, and I said this, I don't know when y'all came in, but I said this early on up in the channel. When Nell and Destiny went to the flower shop, Albert's Flowers, she did mention, was a Black-owned flower shop. I love the fact that everywhere they go, they mention where they're going. And I was glad that Destiny mentioned that it was a Black-owned flower shop. We know the businesses that they own, and they have, believe it or not, this particular season, Carlos really has at the and production, Kingdom Reign has really zoned in on their businesses. We've seen more of the businesses probably this season, than we've seen in all the other seasons. Wouldn't you agree with that, Butterfly?
I would absolutely agree with that. And the thing that kills me is we lost the plot season 2. It been stopped being what they claim that they want to see. But when it was a certain person keeping up the mess, they was all for it.
Correct.
But now that certain person left, it's back to being, oh, we want to see the business. We want to see the business. Now, now that the show is not focused on one particular cast members, because it is an ensemble cast and has always been an ensemble cast. Let's be very clear. The show wouldn't even got off the ground if the ensemble cast was not added. See, these are the nuances that people want to ignore while they're still trying to rock with this one narrow-minded narrative.
Right.
And it's just not the reality, you know? And it's unfortunate. And my thing is, if y'all say y'all left the show because y'all are still negative, y'all are still bitter, y'all are still like, why are we still bringing up somebody that's not there? And then y'all will claim that we keep her in our mouth. Right. But then y'all come in our chats steady bringing her up. Right. You can't have it both ways.
Right. Because she's no longer on the show. There's nothing in this in my live or in my notes that even has Mel other than me bringing up the fact of instances where Martell lied on Mel. That's the only thing I've brought up. So we're not gonna dwell on the millimeters and the drama that they want to bring. Thank you, Valerie Banks. I appreciate that. Oh, thank God I worship the Lord and save Jesus Christ and not a man. Oh, Valerie, do you hear me? Let's not do this mail back and forth in the chat. This review is about the show in its current state. Thank you, Symmetry. Y'all, please take note of this right here. Everything the Symmetry said. Moving on, just like CK did. Exactly. Butterfly said, let's have a real conversation. She did say that. Martell has more producer credit.
Yeah, let's just have a real conversation.
Huh? Oh, yeah, Black on. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's just have a real conversation. It's so delusional and been so caught up in the nonsense that they have Stockholm syndrome.
Right. And that's
they have Stockholm syndrome. And it is sad because it's like, why are y'all still roaming around just continuing to be negative and bitter? Y'all claim this lady is doing better. So why y'all not focused on her and promoting what she got going on? Y'all seem to find yourselves wherever y'all feel like people are being negative, and y'all come thinking y'all gonna change people's minds. And it don't work like that. Everybody is not weak-minded. Everybody's not sheeple. Everybody don't follow or go along to get along. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand why they haven't learned that yet.
Well, Butterfly,
I digress.
I don't think they really want to change anyone's mind. I think they just want to be strifeful and just create strife as they go along, which is, hey, you want to be strifeful and make a bad name for you, that's fine. But it's always the ones with, the initials. It's never anybody that puts their name in the chat. I respect the name. Those were name recognitions to the Black businesses. Me too, Passion. You said told Tisha. Okay, so what Passion was saying was that Tisha told Destiny that Nell said that she had to get back for the baby, but it wasn't like Destiny didn't know that there was a baby, right? It wasn't like she didn't know. And Destiny was also at the reunion, so I don't think that was the same as Destiny sitting down in a private conversation with Nell and bringing everything that was said back to Letitia. That's what I'm saying. And you may see it differently, but I also know that what Letitia said to Nell at the table was not so severe that Nell brought all that energy to Letitia as well. I think she was like, well, you said, you went back, because you had a baby. That's the way exactly Letitia was talking to Nell. And Nell flipped the script. So I don't know how we went all the way there. with the anger and Nell lashing out at them. And then, you know, I know why Letitia's doing it, because Letitia is over it. She don't want to be around Nell. She don't trust Nell. She said it 3 times within the first scene. In the second scene, I don't want to be around Nell. I don't like Nell. How many times I tell you I don't like someone for you to get the understanding that I'm not going to be who you think I'm going to be when this person is around.
Right. Now, like I said, I'm late. So can I give my point of view?
Can I finish? Let me finish this part and then let's get your point of view. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. The ladies start talking about what they brought in their basket. We talked about Destiny. Kimmy brought a picture of Jalen and she said he was her everything. And then she brought out the candle, which, like I said, I forgot that she even had started a candle line. She also gave credit to Destiny with helping her with naming the candle. Nell said she didn't bring anything in her basket. And Destiny said she was very disappointed that Nell didn't put anything in her basket. But I want to tell you this. To me, that symbolized that Nell may just be empty, right? That she just may not have so much, she doesn't feel safe to share, or she doesn't have anything to share. I just feel that way. Nell said she has been transparent. I'm going to say that's a lie. She said that transparency is used in this group of women as a weapon. Maybe not, just depend on how you feel. So Letitia goes up with her basket and she has a golden egg. And she says she brought the golden egg because she has a heart of gold. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I really think Letitia has a heart of gold. And I think that's why she goes so hard on people when she feels like they betrayed her. Friends, she said friends because she has a lot of friends. She has a heart of gold with her friends because she values her friendships. She said that her friendships are very important to her, and that's why when her friends turn on her, it hurts. Then she brings out a snake, and she says once you bite her one time, that is a wrap for her. Nell says, obviously, the snake was meant for me. Letitia likes to throw rocks and hide her hand. Letitia isn't throwing rocks, and she's not hiding. She is literally right in front of you, talking straight to you. And she has called your name and told you that she's talked about you. I put in my notes, baby, Letitia may need to go to therapy too, because baby, she is wild for this snake thing. Kimmy shared with Nell that she felt like that for a moment there was something, because she wanted her to put something into her basket. They wanted her to put something into her basket. They wanted to know more about Nell. And then Nell started trying to explain, but let's be honest, Nell isn't forthcoming with anything. Nell is even saying it herself. While she said she has been transparent, she has said that I don't talk about anything. Okay, you can't be both of them. Either you're being transparent or you're sharing your information. Or you're not sharing your information. You say you don't like to talk about things with these girls because people use transparency as a weapon, but yet you're still telling us you're transparent. You're lying. Said Letitia told Destiny she did a great job with the trip, and she gives her an A for effort, even though effort is started with the E. She said, but she didn't think it would be possible for them all to move forward on the group level because everyone was not being transparent. Letitia said she has a problem with one particular lady in the group, and to be fair, Letitia's right. Letitia is pissed off about what Nell said, and she ain't trying to hide it. Let it out, Letitia. And that's what Letitia is doing. Everything that Letitia said, that Nell said about her, is true. Letitia is reading Nell her rights. Nell said when she met with Destiny, she felt like, here Letitia goes once again with my MF name in her mouth. This is what Nell is saying at the table. Even though they cut off the F part, they used the mother they left in, right? And my caption caught it. That's because when I'm reviewing it and taking notes, I put caption on so I can, if I think I heard something and it wasn't what, I'll go back and watch it on caption. But they put mother in there. I thought I heard her say mother, but the F part was cut off. When Letitia was talking about Nell before, was when she was talking to Destiny, she said, keep my MF name out your mouth. Letitia said, I don't like her. Now, how many times Letitia got to tell you she don't like this woman? She didn't. This is about the 56th time she done told you, Destiny. Nell said Letitia has been getting in her face and her husband's face. And Letitia said, "Oh, I've been getting in your face. I've been," and I'm with Letitia on that because Letitia has not been getting in both the eyes. One time. You told her to go ask your husband. You knew Letitia had been drinking. Why don't you say, "Yeah, go ask him"? You knew that. Now Letitia may have been a little too right over there with Chris, but in all actuality, you told her to go ask him. And baby, I put at the end of my notes, turn up Letitia. Turn up. She earned this. Okay, Butterfly, I'm done. Go ahead and give your spiel.
So herein lies the problem. Nell is trying to keep a certain type of thing going. And I don't like that because she was in the wrong. First of all, she's the one that keep everything that Letitia says she did, she did. So, and then the fact that you couldn't stand 10 toes down on what you said, because what she asked you is to repeat what you said to everybody else. If they chopped it up and edited it, Nell refused to repeat what she said. The reason why she was hostile, because that's exact. She told, quote unquote, verbatim, tell Letitia to keep my mother effing name out her mouth. That's how Destiny brought it back. Exactly how she said it. And you addressed it. Right? But see, here is where I'm kind of like, I can see all angles because I do feel like at some point Destiny probably should have figured that out on her own. As far as going back to Nell, telling Nell that Letitia put her on to what was going on, Destiny should have kept that to herself. That's girl code. I'm looking out for you as your homegirl.
But to be fair, Butterfly, in Destiny's defense, I don't think Destiny thought that it would cause this kind of issue. Just to be
No,
fair.
she didn't.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Fair.
I don't think Destiny did it in a malice and a malicious way, but when you're thinking about the information that's being brought back to you, you have to think about how you go about addressing it, especially because it wasn't directed. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like there's a certain girl code there that you should have even that should have been the tuck. And really, listen, I would have sat around and waited for him to tell me.
Right,
but
right.
I do understand the situation that happened because Destiny did end up getting attacked for this man having a baby, and she's supposedly out here optically looking like she's dating him. So it was a lose-lose for Destiny.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna be honest, there's a balance to things. You see what I'm saying? You know how y'all do me. Everything don't need to be brought back to me. Y'all bring everything back to me, especially when you know ain't no good gonna come of it. It really has a negative kind of stench to it. Y'all don't come back and tell me that nonsense. You get what I'm saying?
Oh,
so right. So I feel like Destiny should have just kept that for food for thought with Letitia shared with her. Because at the end of the day, that's exactly what happened. First of all, Nell's a liar. Because that's exactly why they left early. Be clear. Second of all, you're trying to scapegoat and use your grandchild as a reason why you're so upset. And the reality is you're so upset because you got caught playing both sides when you shouldn't have even been in a relationship in the first place. They both grown. I get it, it's your child, but they both grown. You could have gave him his advice and stepped aside and let him do what he got to do. And just been there like most parents are and catch him and be like, hey, you could have gave him the I told you so speech and then went on from there, what you learned from this. And you know what I'm saying? But to be in it the way Nell has been in it, and then she's been trying to paint Destiny as a, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, like, it's all just no for me. It's all just no for me. Like I said, I can see it from everybody's angle. And I can see why Letitia's upset. Because Nell has sat in her face, told her one thing, Letitia opened up to her, and Nell still, and even now, leaving the winery, what does Nell go back to her husband and do?
The next episode, she's gonna tell him about Letitia. She doing this, she doing that, you know, rah, of course. With Letitia.
Wait. She need to leave me alone. I'm going to tell Letitia ain't messing with you. She telling you, she blatantly told you she don't mess with you. So how's she messing with you?
I
So
agree
it
with
don't like Nell is and Nell's fugazi, and I can see why she was introduced to us by who she was. You know, birds of a feather flock together.
you. Right. I totally agree
You
with
know
that.
what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So like, yeah, Nell's looking real. Cause I mean, allegedly, rumor has it word on the curve is Nell definitely got some stuff she could be talking about. What I do love, because they've been scapegoating off their kids, and that's what I haven't loved. But what I do love is that Chris Jr. Chris Jr. addressed his arrest situation and things that was going on with him. Because remember, unfortunately, he was doxxed and everybody else. You know how everybody else try to come out here trying to tell his story for him. But I love the fact that he addressed it. He's a father now. He looks like he's doing good. He like Nell is obviously somebody you can't talk to. And Chris do gotta step up. I agree with Nell. Like, you do gotta step up. Okay, you lay back, you don't like confrontation. Okay, but you still need to figure out you the head of the household. You still need to figure out how to work that out. You can't just not say nothing. And then we seen what little Chris said that he was going through, So it's like, yeah, and that the fact that the dynamics is unbalanced, right? That has rubbed off on the kids. And you can see that in what little Chris was going through. You see what I'm saying? So and you can see that with what Lexi was going through.
But
so it's like,
but you know what, Butterfly? Just in all actuality, to be honest with you, I really believe that Chris stays back because Nell is so rah-rah. And that's not any reflection on him or her. That's just his way of parenting. And you, honest to God, you have to have someone that's a level head when you got someone that's always running their mouth like Nell, right? When you got someone that's always ready to fight, always ready to cut, you got to have someone that has a level head. Can you imagine the arguments and fights she's gotten them into if this is how she conducts herself in their friend groups?
I absolutely can, but see, there's a time and place for everything, and everything in this place. Now, there's not going to be, he's not going to always be able to control that. But what I'm getting is Chris don't even know when there's a time and place for everything. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no, I get that he has to be the balance of the level head, but at some point, you got to rein it in too. So that's why I say there's got to be a balance, But and like I get it. No, he shouldn't be. He should be the balance in between when she blow up. He shouldn't he can't meet fire with fire. So I do get that aspect. But what I'm saying is you got to know also too, when it's like, put your foot down, you got to stomp that fire out. Because at the same time, you got to balance. Okay, I'm going to let her go, but so far, but I need to know when to step in. And that's where I feel like I'm saying, Chris, like, come on. Because it's affected the family as a whole.
Hold on. I think Chris knows when to step in. I think when you start talking about family dynamics, you go into a different realm. Men are never going to be like the woman, right? They have adult children. These are not little babies. These are adults. So again, with adults, you listen to them. Nell's way of communicating with them is cussing at them. I know that I say that Lexi's spoiled and she's this and she's that, but at the end of the day, that is Chris's child. Chris should have probably shut his wife up so that he could have maintained a relationship with Lexi, because Lexi's whole entire complaint is Nell. Right? Or am I wrong?
I feel like her complaint is not being recognized and not being valued. But whereas I say that I understand you. Okay, so if we're going by the family dynamics, the fact that the son got mad because of how Nell was treating Chris. See, you didn't pick up on that little nugget. The argument, it went left when the son spoke up for Chris. So what it's giving me is Chris is too quiet, and the son didn't appreciate how Nell was talking to the father. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I said that. Listen, I'm paying attention to the family dynamics.
It gives
the
me
little gem one. Yeah, the little gem right there was the fact that the son spoke up and was like, "Why are you talking to dad like that?" So that gave me that they so used to her even down, like, you know what I'm saying, degrading him and talking to him crazy. So that's why I said there's a balance that Chris needs to find. He needs to step up and do what he got to do. And at the same time, she's coming to me. Nell's giving me, I need you to tame me in a certain aspect.
But she's not going to
I
listen.
don't need you to like.
She's not going to
She
listen.
is. She is. If he do it how he supposed to, like, listen.
Okay,
LadyRo, we can agree to disagree. We can agree to disagree. Because the fact that the son spoke up.
Really back in, they got 30 years in the game, baby. He ain't gonna be no more than what he is, and she ain't gonna be no more than what she is. Anybody that's
okay. I get what you're saying with there, but what I'm paying, like you said, I am paying attention to the dynamics, and the fact that the son spoke up let it be known that it's been a problem.
Yeah, she been running over,
and they don't like watching that, and they have not liked watching that over the years. That's why he spoke up.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I believe that, but I also believe that Nell, you got to have a level head. Relationships, there has to be some levelness. Someone's gonna be rah-rah if the other person can't be rah-rah. We can't have two people going buck wild. Somebody got to be level-headed. It seems like Chris is level-headed because he does listen before he responds. Nell gets part of the conversation. She already done jumped off. You can't have that in relationships. You just can't, because someone's always going to get hurt. When she came up there and he was in that theater room and she sat down and talked with him, I could already tell Chris, like, here she comes with this BS. I guarantee you that's something that she does a lot. She came up there and jumped all over him for not going and having her back with the kids. So I guarantee you, if he has her back, she jumps on him. If she doesn't have her back, she jumps on him. I guarantee you that. Nell probably has a good heart, but she's a very unhappy person. I think she probably is. And again, I really believe that's why she should probably go do some therapy to get those tools to be able to manage her anger. Because Destiny said that after her mom died, she became a very angry person. Nell also said the exact same thing in two different scenes. So I believe that she just missing those tools. And then if you got everything else on them, then what is there? She probably doesn't give Chris space to step up. She won't listen and probably cusses him out too. I totally agree with that. I agree. Men finish how they started. LOL, baby. Ain't that a fact? I agree with you, Butterfly. My husband always knows how to chime check me and bring me back when I go to another level. And you need that balance in a relationship. Susie, I agree with that 100%. But we're talking about...
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but we're talking about Nell and Chris, right? And she says that he never... So now you want to change him to be in 30 some odd years. Didn't they just celebrate 35 years of marriage? Or 36. So you want to change him now to be someone that has your back, but are you going to present yourself as a unified front? I don't know. I hope that it works well for them, but I don't know what for them in the interim. If anybody wants to join, let me put the link in the thing so you can come up if you want. If you have something to say.
I think you're never too old to unlearn, relearn, learn, relearn, unlearn, relearn. So I don't know. But then again, LadyRo, what you got over me, with probably half of the women in the chat got, is I've never been married. So, but I'm just, I'm thinking in a more like, okay, logical sense, but I've never been married. So I know that, like you said, it is and somebody said it, you just said it before because I was thinking it, what my grandmother taught me. Men do finish how they start. If you want them to be a certain way, they gotta already be like that at the start, because my grandmother said that. So that's why I said I do agree with that. But like once again, I also believe in balance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. But you gotta have, the thing is that when you have someone who is ready to pop off at all times, you have to have someone who also balance that person out. And I think Chris is the balancing act to Nell's madness. I just feel that way. I'm not sure.
But it gives me Chris and Candace of Real House of Atonement, because where's the balance? Because he's unable to calm her down. Because y'all just said, I believe she cuts him out too, so he just folds.
The balance isn't for maybe not in their relationship. It could be with the children. You know what I'm saying? The way they interact with their kids. Because we saw how she was yelling and the kids, they go to Chris. They don't go to Nell. or they order Nell for money. But otherwise, they go to Chris for every advice, sit down conversations. They go to Chris. I don't know. I don't know. Susie said, "I'm a little confused how Destiny and I'll care and I'll care so much for each other, but the woman calling her a slut don't want her to date her son is confusing." I said that up in earlier in the live, baby. I don't understand how Destiny is taking up for Nell, and Nell called her the H word. Said that she been messing around with everybody. Now maybe it's just me, but I feel like that Nell also owes Destiny an apology. Cause she said that she was messing around with twins, she messing around this, she doing this. Oh Lord, oh Lord. What you think about that, butterfly? Did I lose her? And tell her what butterfly doing. Oh, Susie said Chris is afraid to his son is gonna get married. Well, I don't know what happened, y'all. Can y'all hear me? Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. My internet went down. Is it back up? So let me know if it's back up. Are we back and running? That's okay. You're fine. Okay, so it is back and running. Yeah, I wonder how you said I wonder how Destiny feels current day after hearing all that Nell has said. I wonder that too, Symmetry, because Nell has been very vocal about saying that how she felt about Destiny dating different guys. And she's actually put her in the bed pretty much with all of them. So I really wonder what that looks like for her. It says here, oh yes, that's going to be interesting. I think the reunion is going to be super interesting. But I'm ready for the next few episodes. I'm ready for the next episode for sure. Because I really want to see how all of this is going to really play out. But yeah, y'all, we're going to get down. We're going to continue this conversation in the chat. If you have not liked this video, please like, share, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to Lady Ro's channel. We talk about love and marriage Huntsville every week. We talk about marriage to medicine. Those are two of my favorite reality TV shows. The rest of these TV shows, I be looking at them, but y'all don't really be looking at them. So I really will. These are my things that I love. We're gonna be talking the rest of this week because I am on vacation. We're gonna be talking about some other things. Am I still frozen? Oh, I don't know what's going on with this internet, but it's upsetting me.
I can hear you. Are you still frozen? I can hear you real good.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna get ready to get off this live because I don't know why I had a new AT&T brought me a new modem out here. They're gonna get a good old call on Monday morning. I switched over to my telephone. That's my cell phone. That's why I went ahead and got off the modem. But baby, they're gonna get a call in the morning. They're gonna be back out here fixing this. You said thank you, Symmetry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You say enjoyed your show and thank you for allowing us to give our own opinion without any craziness going on. No, we're not gonna do no craziness over here. If you're a millimeters are welcome, just as long as you stay under control. Don't come over here and go wilding out like Nell. Just come over here, take a seat, and let's just have a good conversation. Let's have a good conversation. We ain't gonna be doing no wilding out. Again, if you please like, share, subscribe. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I'm on the road to 500. I got an email today saying I have reached 2,000 watch hours. So I need another 1,000 and I need another 1,000 on my numbers.
Up. Listen, go get her. You better go get it.
Yes. Wilding out will not be tolerated. Not be tolerated. In fact, the mod sisters, they already know who to get after chat. They know exactly how to handle y'all. So we gonna come over and we're gonna have great conversations, but don't push the envelope too much, because we got one baby. She trigger ready. She be ready all the time. She be ready all the time, but we love the open dialogue that is healthy. We want to have healthy dialogues. We don't want to be over here just doing things that don't make sense. We want to stay healthy, keep the dialogues coming. So I want you to get down this chat and let's talk about this. Let's keep this conversation going until next week, when we come back and we're going to talk about what they're talking about again. All right.
Yeah, the next week I will be on time because LadyRo don't know I'm her co-host for the 11 minute review. But also, before y'all get up out of here, please, y'all, she is doing a beautiful series called the Queendom series. I need y'all to check it out. Each episode is going to be a new and different episode, and it's a whole conversation where we're sharing, uplifting each other. It's really a beautiful series that she started. So please make sure y'all subscribe. Help the beautiful LadyRo get to her 500, then her 1,000. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep it going and going and going. And by the way, you look beautiful. I love the lipstick. You know what I'm saying? Matching the shirt and all that, everything. You know what I'm saying? I see a little silk wrap and everything. Anywho, moving along. I digress. Please make sure y'all subscribe and tune in for the Queendom series, y'all. It's a really great series, and y'all really are gonna enjoy it. So tell a friend and tell a friend, because y'all know sharing is caring. Please subscribe. Share on every platform you got: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, wherever you at. Share the beautiful LadyRo. Let's get her to her first 1,000. Okay, we're gonna push. We glow getter. We're not glow getter ever. Let's go.
Yes.
Love you, LadyRo. I'm sorry I was late today. You know, today's my baby birthday and all that. And I definitely wanted to be here. Yes. So I'm so sorry. But I love you. And I'm going to catch what I missed. But thank you, everybody. Make sure y'all subscribe. And make sure y'all catch that Queendom series.
Most definitely.
And go back and catch the replay. We already had 2 episodes. So catch up and keep following. All right. Love y'all.
Love you too. Thanks for joining. You said, yeah, Melanie is not on the show anymore, and I'm so happy for her. There's no reason to be wilding out. Even if she was on the show, there's no reason to be wilding out. Because guess what? Melanie's an adult. She signed a piece of paper called a contract to be on this show when she was on here, and whatever she says is just what she says. This is a TV show. We don't know these people in real life. We just watch them on our TV screen. We don't know. We have favorites. We have non-favorites. But let's just keep it all in fun and keep it where in its perspective, which is entertainment. That's what I do with it. It's just entertainment. They're here for my entertainment, and I give me a good kiki, and I move on with my life. But I wanted to show you guys before I got off the live. Did everybody leave? I want y'all to remember this right here. We're not gonna forget.
What's up, y'all? That's Martel.
It's your girl Ariana Curry.
This is Scott.
This is who y'all wanted us to believe that Marcel was hanging out with. Like I tell you, yeah, if Marcel was, they all were, allegedly. Y'all have a good night. If nobody told you today they love you, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Have a great night. Bye-bye.